Hello friends, my name is Dan. This video is in continuation of why I believe, and evidence that I have, that the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner does not have the authority to act in the province of British Columbia. Welcome to Part 2. So Part 2 is going to focus on the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner. His name is Rollie Woods. Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods is one of the employees of the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner that I have reason to believe, as well as evidence, that he is not acting impartially as per required by the Police Act, specifically Section 51.011A. About a year ago, I went to their office and did a public trust audit, and I asked to see proof of documentation of their oaths. One of those persons I named was Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods. Not only was their office not accessible to the public, but they refused to show me documentation of the oath sworn to act impartially as per the BC Police Act. And what you're going to see in this video is proof that the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods hasn't taken that oath, doesn't have it. And if Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods hasn't sworn the oath, doesn't have documentation of it, then he's under no obligation to act impartially. So what you're about to see is evidence that the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner does not have the authority to act in the province of British Columbia. To bring you up to speed, the first time I ever made a complaint about the police was July 19th, 2015. Brian Thiessen, analyst with the OPCC, found that complaint to be admissible. However, before an investigation could even be started, a statement written by Greg Horonowich, Vic PD badge number 422, was submitted to the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner, denying the allegations of the complaint. Because Greg lied in his statement denying the allegations of the complaint, the Police Complaint Commissioner, Stan Lowe, and analyst Brian Thiessen discontinued that complaint. This was before an investigation even started. In fact, my witness was never even contacted. Upon receiving notice of the discontinuation of my complaint, I inquired where I could appeal that decision. I submitted an appeal in writing through email, and I received a response from the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods. My appeal letter to the discontinuation of this complaint went like this. Hello, I recently received a notice of discontinuation for my complaint in 2015. I do not understand how this can be and want to appeal this decision, or at least have a very, very thorough explanation, in plain English, for the exact and very specific reasons for the notice of discontinuation. Specifically, why is it okay for the police to threaten to break down my door when it's my right to refuse to open it? No warrants, not under arrest. Why is it okay for two police officers on the other side of my door that I did not let into my building refuse to ID themselves before I consider letting them into my home? Lastly, why is it okay for a police officer to tell me to shut up 3 times when I'm asking for their names and badge numbers when they want to come into my home? And of course, Rollie Woods goes through Section 109 of the Police Act, which basically says that the Police Complaint Commissioner at any time can discontinue a complaint, including before an investigation even starts, including without contacting any of the complainant's witnesses. And Rollie Woods sums it up by denying my request for an appeal of the discontinuation of my complaint. He says, quote, "There is no discretion afforded to the Police Complaint Commissioner to consider a complainant's request to appeal the decision to discontinue an investigation." Unquote. So here's where things get interesting, and I'm going to come back to this in just a minute or two. In a phone call that I recorded with Brian Thiessen, I told Brian that I had requested an appeal into the discontinuation of this complaint, and that request for an appeal was denied by the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods. Upon him advising me that I could always appeal any decision, I informed Brian that according to Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods, appeals don't exist. Brian Thiessen, however, goes on to state that he remembers an appeal of a discontinuation happening just the other day. So according to Brian Thiessen, an appeal on a discontinuation notice does exist, and they do happen. But according to the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods, they don't happen. Here's a little clip from a phone call I had with Brian Thiessen about it. I made a complaint. You found it admissible, and then you discontinued it.
Right.
Because you read a statement that the police gave you.
I don't recall the exact reasons why, so I don't have the file in front of me.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you could always appeal, which you did, and then the deputy commissioner obviously sent you a letter or something like that, and then you can, address that.
He said that
as, for as far as my involvement, I wasn't involved in that part at all.
Yeah, he said there is no appeal.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you're under the impression that there is an appeal process, I'm going to sadly inform you, Brian, you're wrong.
Okay. That's no problem. You can inform me I'm wrong.
Yeah. But you have read the Police Act?
I just know that we had a discontinuation judicially reviewed just the other day, so as far as I'm aware, it can be judicially reviewed.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Brian. So getting back to this response from Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods, most of what he's writing here is just he's excusing things and making up stuff in the Police Act as he goes along. But it's what he says at the end here that discredits him and the agency that he works for. And in my opinion, is proof that the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner is not acting impartial, that they haven't sworn an oath to act impartial, therefore they're under no obligation to act impartial. And the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods, proves it in his own words at the end of this email. This is how he justifies the actions of police members contrary to the Police Act. He says, quote, "Your upcoming criminal trial may provide you with the opportunity to achieve a deeper understanding of events from the officer's perspective." Unquote. So there's your impartial civilian oversight. Not only does Rollie Woods deny my request for an appeal, but he also refuses to give any exact or specific reasons for the notice of discontinuation, why my complaint was discontinued. To the point where he basically just says, well, you've got a criminal trial coming up. And if you want to know why we discontinued your complaint, you'll find out there. Seriously? Yes, that's his response. This is the impartial civilian oversight that we not only pay for, and we not only expect, but we rely on. So if you are relying on impartial civilian oversight from the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner, this is what you're up against. Now, I did send a response back to Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner Rollie Woods, and it went like this, quote, "Thank you. So just to confirm, my witness and audio recording of the incident is not relevant? Police that make false statements to the OPCC is covered up? Welcomed and supported by the OPCC? Yes. Clearly, it is. Thank you. I will be putting that on record. Dan." Unquote. Rollie Woods, however, never responded to that email. Now, if we skip ahead 8 or 9 months, this criminal trial has concluded. I represented myself at this criminal trial, and based on the evidence that I presented, the judge found me not guilty. So this criminal trial concluded without me being provided with the opportunity to achieve a deeper understanding of the events from the officer's perspective, as per Rollie Woods. So I decided to email him after the criminal trial, throw him a lifeline, and basically call him out. And this is what I wrote. Quote, Mr. Woods, this criminal trial has concluded, and I was acquitted on the evidence that I presented at trial. In fact, Constable Horonowich lied under oath about the details within this complaint, and I made him read his statement aloud where he admits to the allegations I made complaints about. I actually made him look really stupid on that stand in front of the judge after he swore on an oath to tell the truth. I tried hard not to laugh. Clearly, Mr. Woods, you had no intention of acting impartially with my complaint or appeal request. Wouldn't you agree? In fact, this matter was never investigated by Sergeant Brown. I have an email from him confirming this. Also, my witness to this complaint was never contacted. Yet again, the impartiality seems non-existent. I don't want to put this out there without giving you the opportunity to respond. So if you wouldn't mind, could you go further into how I was supposed to achieve a deeper understanding of the events from the officer's perspective at my criminal trial? Seems like you were either making a heavily biased and baseless assumption to protect police members from being disciplined, or were you talking about me understanding deeper how the police lie about incidents and fill in the blanks with fiction in their favor? Which one is it? Could you explain? The criminal trial didn't give me a deeper understanding, as you claimed it might. It actually only confirmed what I've been saying all along. I'm also asking for an apology from yourself, Mr. Lowe, and Mr. Thiessen for the reckless disregard of my legitimate complaint from July 19th, 2015. Cheers, Dan. Unquote. Rollie Woods, however, never responded to that email. If you'd like to learn more about the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods, you should visit a website created by Greg Klein. Here's a little bit of what Greg Klein has to say about the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods. And I'm going to quote Greg Klein directly from his website. Greg Klein says, quote, under the direction of career liar Rollie Woods, Vancouver Police Professional Standards set out in advance to find their buddies 100% right and complainants or victims 100% wrong. Liar Woods and his cronies smeared complainants, interviewed complainants only at the end of investigations, conducted witness tampering, and lied about the criminal code. Police Complaint Commissioner Stan Lowe hired and promoted this liar, ensuring a dishonest police culture prevails at this supposed oversight agency. Unquote. Now, what Greg Klein is referring to when he references buddies and cronies of Rollie Woods, he's referencing the fact that before the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods, became the Deputy Police Complaint Commissioner, Rollie Woods was the head of the Vancouver Police Professional Standards. Do you see how that might be a conflict of interest? So how do you feel about this agency defrauding the people of British Columbia? If you'd like to know more about the Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner committing fraud against the public trust, visit Greg Klein's website, bcpolicecomplaints.org. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, there's more coming soon.